Hi. What's Toyota's role right now with the Kyle Busch contract? Like, how much are you guys involved in trying to get him retained, and how confident are you that you'll be able to keep him?
So we work very closely. We always have with our teams as it relates to their drivers. We have our own relationship with Kyle Busch. We have our own relationship with all of our drivers through these personal services agreements. We've been very close to Kyle for years and years and years. And some of that relationship, to be candid, Jeff, has been born through trials that we've gone through together and through controversy that we've gone through together. We've had some really tough times with Kyle Busch, but we've also are sitting on two championships and in celebrating recently our 1,500 starts across the three national series. Um, Pull this up because I keep this stat handy all the time. One driver has accounted for 36% of our total wins across all three series. And you know who that driver is. It's just amazing. So any scenario that doesn't have Kyle Busch retiring from Joe Gibbs Racing and Toyota would be a monstrous disappointment for us and for Coach Gibbs and the family. And so yes, Kyle has been a little outspoken, um, and and you have to be somewhat empathetic, I guess, or try to be. Put yourself in his shoes. He's on an out year of his contract. This is so rare because, of course, what the team, what we try and do is get well ahead of this, particularly with a tier one driver like Kyle Busch. The circumstances, unfortunately, have made that challenging. So, we're working on it. This is a conversation I have with Joe every week, and I'm optimistic. I know, and Kyle wants, he doesn't want to go anywhere else. He's been very candid. He can't wait for the day that his little boy Brexton races a Toyota Tundra out of the Kyle Busch Motorsports stable. He has that in his sights, and that's not going to be for another 10 plus years, which means that we've got to make sure that we're still together long after Kyle's out of the driver's seat full time. So, um, what was there a second part to that question that I missed, Jeff?
Just your level of confidence, but you sort
Yeah,
of.
yeah. If nothing else, I can't envision any other scenario. Any other scenario is just unacceptable. Um, the last thing I'll add is just the point of obvious. You know, it takes both of us to get there, right? It takes Toyota, Joe Gibbs Racing, and Kyle Busch to get there. So we can't control everything, and I'll leave it at that.
Uh, yeah, exactly. I won't even go into that. So my other question, my other follow-up, Dave, and I realize the answer to this might be what you had said about how there's some things Toyota Racing Development can't control, but you talked about Kyle Busch and that you don't usually let tier one drivers get into out years, contract years. How did that reach this point in this instance with Kyle?
It did simply because of Mar's decision to leave the sport and that catching all of us a little bit by surprise. Mars, is one of a handful of Fortune 500 companies that were probably at the very highest level of sponsorship. And the reality is Joe Gibbs can't afford to pay Kyle Busch. That comes from corporate sponsorship. Every driver's, salary, is a comes from whatever is on that racing car on Sundays. So again, it's circumstantial, and yet we remain optimistic. It's a prized property in the end, and it has a lot of potential, and we're working on a number of different solutions, harder than we ever have before.